Hey, welcome. Go ahead and like the video. Just like it. You ain't got to listen to nothing that I'm saying yet. Just like it. And then if I say something that you don't like, leave me a comment about it. How about that? And then after that, if you want to unlike it, then you could go and unlike the video. Okay. But just come up in here, be ready, like the video, support your girl. Okay.
Hey y'all, I'm Kimberlyn, and this is the Frolicking Truth, a soft space for Black women who are tired, brilliant, and ready to heal. Here, joy meets justice. We calm our Black-ass nervous systems, we unmask, and we leave behind whatever that is trying to kill us. You're seen here, you're safe here, and you don't have to do this alone.
Okay. Microphone checker. Okay, I am definitely in rare form today. So it is, for context, it is 5:52 p.m. And usually I do this first thing in the morning, so I still be waking up. But it is some dab in the middle of the evening in the afternoon. So this is what I'm like in the afternoons. Hey y'all, what's up? My name is Kimberland, and welcome to the Frolicking Truth, episode number 8 for Black women who are tired, brilliant, and ready to heal, where joy meets justice and nervous systems get free. Everybody is welcome here, even if you do not identify with those descriptors. But when you come up in this piece, make sure that you are coming with a mindset of listening and learning and trying to support. All right. So, having said that, I was in the middle of my auntie check-in. I just had started talking, but let me go ahead on and go back and actually officially say auntie check-in, checking in. So anyway, Bianca and I just finished recording Heal That Shit. And we always do a spirit check, and she asked me how I was doing and everything. And basically, y'all, I just been minding my Black ass business. Okay, that's what I've been doing. Is I've been minding my Black ass business. All right, I have been trying to keep myself in a state of peace and stability, and just trying to process while also not get lost in the sauce of all the things that are happening, because it's a lot of things that are happening right now, and I just cannot allow my nervous system to be tossed to and fro. So I have been doing a lot of regulatory type things, so working on my routines and making sure I'm eating every day and like all that kind of stuff. So that has been really nice. And I'll be here for another month, here as in this apartment. And I know that, at least. Beyond that, I don't really know. But right now, I know that. So if I had to do a spirit check right now in this moment, I would say my flabbers are gasted. Okay, it's a lot of things that have been happening. So I'm kind of like processing stuff in real time and wanting to dive into all these stories and tell y'all what happened. I'm very much at peace right now and I'm ready to be done working today. That's what I know for sure. I've been working all day, which is a blessing, but also I've been working all day and I've been talking all day. So I'm ready to kind of be finished talking for a little while. But I'm grateful to have been talking. I've been working more and coaching more, creating more. I've been working on Discover Your Destiny and getting ready to have a new cohort. I had a preview meeting with someone, and I was sharing, what everything was about. And it was like, sign me up. And I said, oh, okay, well, it's not officially, but when it official signed me up. So that was exciting because I know that Discover Your Destiny really does change and transform lives. And I think it's absolutely necessary right now, because I keep asking us what's our role in this fight, and we got to figure that out. We've got to figure that out. We've got to figure that out. Like, it is absolutely necessary for us to understand, because a lot of shit's about to be popping off. So I basically am trying to prepare myself for, I'm kind of in, I don't know if I said this last week, but I'm kind of in a recovery and preparation mode. So I'm recovering from everything that was happening, construction noise, blah, 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 as well as the first cohort of Discover Your Destiny, and like really just getting my energy back and replenishing myself so I could go back out here and prepare for the fall cohort. And I think I like that arrangement. I think I like it being a spring and a fall situation because it gives me some time in the middle to repair and recover and prepare. So that's really what I've been doing and trying to figure out what that looks like. All the way down to, I feel like my life is a science many times, or at least I'm letting it be right now and letting it be without shame, of really just mapping out, the things that I want to eat and strategizing and like all of that, like having the regiment together, all of that for me feels very predictable. And that allows me to be able to let my mind do other things, because if I know that this is what is going to happen on these particular days at these particular times in this particular way and fashion, then that means I don't have to concern myself with those things, and I can organize my brain people to do something else. So I'm working on that right now. That is the main thing that I have been working on, and I enjoy that process. It is fun for me as long as I don't have to worry about anything else. So gratefully, the rent is paid this month. Hello, Jesus. Hello. It's done. Hallelujah. So yes, so gratefully the rent is paid this month and I don't have to like allocate brain cells towards that. So I'm trying to get things organized and ready so that we can hit the ground running in July and talking and preparing for this next cohort of Discover Your Destiny. So I won't necessarily turn this into a commercial, but I will say if you're curious about Discover Your Destiny, it is my life coaching program that I wrote when I was trying to find my way out of an abusive relationship. I actually lived and walked through this process to figure out who I am, to develop a deep personal relationship with God that was outside of what church was telling me and who church was telling me that God was. And also really learning about my spiritual gifts and a lot of the things that I was told were flaws that were actually things that God is using, such as I always got something to say about something, and also do, because y'all be doing the most. Y'all, probably not y'all, but they be doing the most. So, So anyway, Discover Your Destiny is coming up, and the next cohort starts on August 10th. I am accepting people from two different walks of life. So there is an intern path that you can go down, and there is a path that you can go down as someone who is financing. With the intern path, that comes with learning additional skill sets and bartering your time and areas of expertise to be able to offset the cost. And then the other path is I just want to pay for this and I just want to learn these things. So that is what's going on. There is going to be a special at the top of the month for a significant discount. So usually the cost is $1,125 per person, but until July 11th, the cost will be $750. So now is the time to take advantage of that. But enrollment is not open yet. It doesn't start until July. So I'll tell you all about that next week. Okay. All right. So anyway, I've been working on it. I have been really making sure that Discover Your Destiny is good to go. I've done it, several times, and every time I tweak it a little bit, but I think I got it how I want it now. But I'm anal like that. Is I really need to make sure the system is what the system is. So that's a part of what I've been working on. The other part of what I have been working on is just having my peace, okay? Because, girl, what is happening, girl? We at war, huh? Like, what is going on? Huh? These people out here, wow, wow. Like, what is happening? So I'm paying attention, but also I'm not. Like, I'm paying attention and trying to make sure that I show up in the ways that I need to show up, and also um not getting lost in it in a way of feeling hopeless or what have you. Gratefully, I am privileged to be outside of the United States. So I don't feel that pressure of being in the country, and also, all these things are happening. But yeah, I have to prioritize my peace right now because I am in recovery mode, and I'm in recovery for preparation. And even though my battlefield fighting, if you will, is not like protests and all that kind of stuff, my lane is in helping people to prepare. And I know that people are looking and wondering and trying to figure out what the hell they need to do. So I've been getting ready for that. So that's been, pretty much it. Lucy ain't well, actually Lucy did try to run up in here today because the exterminator had come to do whatever that they do. And the door was open, and here she come trying to scroll up in here. I said, girl, no. Okay. So anyway, so I ain't been worrying about Lucy or feeling like she trying to saunter all through here. She is outside, and that's where she like to be anyway. So girl, be outside. So that's what's up with Lucy. And what else? I have an asylum update, but I don't want to share it publicly. I'm going to be right back after I say this to my Patreon. I'm back, yo. So basically, what I want to say about asylum is my brain cells have really been consumed with the process. I am going to figure out how I want to release this video because I did have a special session for people to come and ask questions about asylum, a special finding peace abroad, but I don't want to necessarily make it a public video. I'm not sure. So I have to figure out how I want to release that video. But because I just recorded the part of me giving the information, but I don't want to necessarily paint a target on my forehead. But it feels like it's uncontrollable, to be honest with you, because like y'all just think people supposed to sit down and this about to be all right. That's what y'all think is ain't nobody about to say nothing about all of this crazy shit that y'all doing. You've got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me because I'm gonna say something. Ugh. So anyway, that's the other thing I've been thinking about is what does advocacy look like for me right now, and what does activism look like for me right now? Because this is wild. Like it's some wild, wild shit that's happening. I just can't even phrase it no other way. But this is what I was finna say. If you watching this during the premiere, we in the live chat. We in the live chat and we talking to each other. So come up in there to the live chat and you can talk to me and whoever else is there from the community hanging out. But feel free to ask questions and like have live reactions. But we in the chat. So if you want to watch this with other people, like a watch party, come on down to the live chat on YouTube. Okay. So I did want to say that as well, because I'm also thinking about when we're watching this in the future, like it's a lot. It's a lot that's going on right now. So that is kind of, I guess, I don't even know where to start, y'all. It's so much. Let me do this. Let me talk about. So I'm a wrap this up in the frolicking in the feed. All right. So that was my auntie update. Okay. All right. So let's move on to frolicking in the feed. And frolicking in the feed is the new segment that I made up. And this segment is really about like things that I have seen while I'm out here scrolling on the algorithm and, seeing the things. It might have made me laugh, cry, pause, whatever. But this is what I wanted to tell y'all today about Frolicking in the Feed. So I just told you that I just finished recording Heal That Shit with Bianca. Well, if you watch the show, during the show, she's going to tell me that there's somebody that I know that and had just recently talked to that just got arrested on federal charges and is facing up to 5 years in prison on federal gun charges. And child, when I tell you, I was like, what? What? Like, I'm still not done processing it. So, anyway, me and the lady have been having conversations about different things. And, she's somebody that I knew from Tampa, Hillsborough County. I know a lot of people in Tampa, especially through the school system. So she's somebody I knew and had worked with before, and we cool. So she had reached out, to ask me things here and there, whatever, and we had, these conversations over time. Child, the documents say in 2020 and 2021 that she she admitted to taking pieces of weapons into Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm speechless. Like, I really don't know what to say. And I have so many questions. And the main question that I have, and of course she's off of all social media now, and I'm sure her world is turned upside down because like what is going on? Because apparently the people in Trinidad and Tobago were a part of an organized crime ring. Hillsborough County high school teacher pleads guilty to conspiring to provide firearms to Trinidad-based transnational criminal organization. So the word on the street is that the husband was the one that was brokering a lot of these things or what have you. And she admitted to doing this, so I don't really have an opinion about like whether she actually did or not. She admitted to doing it, and there are going to be consequences. I don't know what those consequences are going to be. So this happened in 2020 and 2021. I don't know what the relationship was with the husband and what that looked like and sounded like, but there were like a lot of things: 11 9mm pistols, two 38 caliber special revolvers, a 12 gauge semi-automatic shotgun, and then like pieces, three AR-15 barrel foregrips, magazines. Like this is a lot, and also very serious. So what it made me think about was, what is the line? And I feel like I've been asking that question a lot about different things because I'm not quite really sure where the lines is at. So in this particular situation, my question about what is the line was, what you won't do for love. Not to minimize it, but like, what is the line when it comes to your partner or your best friend asking you to do something? What at what point are you like, I'm not doing that? And then I was like, well, I wonder if there was abuse in the relationship, because that could definitely play a part. And this would be my bias speaking, is somebody who is caught up in a transnational criminal organization probably might possibly put their hands on their partner or manipulate them in some type of way. you know. So then I was like, man, I wonder if it was a situation like that. And then, she didn't feel safe to tell anybody and like all of that kind of stuff. And I'm like, golly, because I definitely know what that feels like. So then I started asking myself, well, what's the line with what we consider abuse or manipulation? Because many of us, unfortunately, are in abusive and manipulative relationships with people, whether that be friends or jobs or partners or family members. And we don't really recognize that it is abusive. So, like, what is the line? Is the line they got to put their hands on you, or is it a line where they're lying? What is the line, or guilt tripping you? Like, what is the line with that? And then I was asking myself, like, what the line looks like for me, in different situations. And it reminded me of this other situation I was telling Bianca. Um, so before I taught, I was a manager at Walgreens. And so I graduated from college in 2003. And when I graduated, I was originally supposed to go to school to be a doctor. And then I thought I was stupid because I failed organic chemistry. It turned out it was the professor. And so I did finally pass organic chemistry with an A, got my degree, cum laude. All right, cool. But also, I didn't do none of the things that had to be done for medicine. So at that time, I said, okay, well, I'm going to go to grad school for public health. I had gotten really interested in public health. And there were a few schools that I was looking at from one of my sorority sisters. So it was two schools. It was one in St. Louis, University of St. Louis, and then it was University of South Florida in Tampa. So I didn't like snow. And so I was like, I'm going to go to Tampa. So I wound up moving to Tampa. So I was staying in Tampa with someone that I thought was a friend, a male. And I basically was like, I'm going to sleep right here on the sofa. You ain't got to worry about me. If you need me to leave, I will leave. I will go sit in my car. Like, you ain't got to worry, right? And that was cool for probably about 2 weeks. Then I guess he started feeling some type of way and feeling like he should try to make advances towards me that were not welcome. So I would be like sleeping at night. And at the time, my like realization of how dangerous people can be was very low. So I would sleep like with my face to the sofa, and then I would wake up and feel somebody watching me, and he's just kneeling on the side of the sofa watching me. So then I was like, I'm about to have to unalive this nigga. Like, what the hell? And I had gotten a UTI at the time. So I had never had one of those before. I didn't know what was wrong with me, but I knew I kept going to the bathroom, and the bathroom was through his room. So I would go in there to try to go to the bathroom, and he would be like, "You don't have to stay out there. You could come lay in here with me." And I'm like, "No, like I'm not doing that." So then that happened for a long time. So then I was like, I've got to figure out a way to get out of here. And I got this UTI situation. So anyway, so I had wound up calling my aunt, and my aunt told me that I needed to go talk to the pharmacist. And she was like, "This is what you can get over the counter. And, that's going to make you feel better. I'll send you some medicine." So one night at like, I don't know, 3 in the morning or something, I get up and go to Walgreens because I couldn't take it no more. So I go to Walgreens and I talk to the pharmacist. I get what I need. And the manager comes out, the overnight manager comes out, and he was like, "Young lady, why are you in this store this late, this early in the morning?" And I was like, "I need to be working, sir, since I'm in here." So he said, "Well, somebody just quit tonight. Come tomorrow and apply for the job." So I was like, "Bet." Right? So I did that. I went in the next day. I applied for the job. They offered me the job. I almost lost the job. Well, I declined the job because my mama had tried to get me to come home, telling me, girl, my mama had told me that she had a job for me, or somebody had a job for me as a pharmacy tech at Walgreens at home. And at this time, I'm roughing it. So she's like, "I don't know why you doing all that. You could just be home. You could work at Walgreens here. Like, what are you doing?" Like, type of thing. And so then I was like, fine, I'm gonna just go home because I'm here in this dude's crazy house. He watching me. I got this UTI. Like, it was a lot that was going on. So I was like, I'm gonna just go home. And so I tell Walgreens I don't want the job. Then I called the Walgreens in New Orleans. I know this backwards. And they was like, "We didn't tell your mama we had no job for you. We did not say that to your mama. We told her that you could come and apply, that we were hiring, but we didn't say that we had no job for you." So then I was pissed. So I wound up calling my aunt. My aunt was like calling people and begging for that job back. So that's what I did. And I got the job. So I start out at the front register. Then I moved into photo. Then I was over cosmetics. And then I got promoted to manager. So by this time, I'm an assistant manager. This is 2005. I'm an assistant manager at Walgreens on in Brandon, 128 East Brandon Boulevard, store number 4962. I'm a manager there, right? So I'm an assistant manager, and this was so actually interestingly enough, I made my decision to go into teaching in December of 2005. Now, this article that I'm looking at right now is from October 2005. So this happened right before I was like, I cannot do this no more. I had got a new manager and he and I were real cool. So he was showing me how to do like a whole bunch of different things. He was like, I'm gonna show you how to do all these things so that, you'll know if you want to move up to one day be a store manager, like you'll know how to do these things, right? So he was teaching me all the stuff, how to close things out and look at this and scrutinize and do the schedule and like all everything. Like I knew how to do the things to run a store. So I had started getting these phone calls about gift cards. And the way that gift cards work is basically a gift card costs a penny to a retail store. It's not worth anything unless you put money on it. So we kept getting these calls about gift cards, and the calls were like, there's a young person who is a young person has a gift card for like an exorbitant amount of money. So they're like, a young person came in here with a $500 gift card, to Applebee's or to Chili's or to Bob Evans or like whatever. And I'm like, is the card activated? So they're like, yeah. And I'm like, I don't know what you, there's nothing we can do. The retail stores position in it all is activating it. Like once it's activated, the money is paid, gift card is gotten. We don't have nothing else to do with nothing else that happens there. So it's just real interesting and confusing. So I'm telling my manager about it or whatever, and I'm like, this is weird. I keep getting these phone calls. So he was like, yeah, that is weird, and we just take note. Then we did inventory. The inventory came up short, but it came up short a whole bunch of gift cards. So we were like, why are gift cards cost a penny? Like, so it's not you can't do nothing with it unless it's activated. So we trying to figure out like why would that be the thing that is missing? Like why would people be coming in and taking gift cards, or like what's happening to the gift cards? So, child, long story short, it's an article written about it, child. We cracked a whole case that led to an arrest and all kinds of stuff. Okay. This is people I knows in real life. All right. So the title is Accomplice Sought in Gift Card Scheme. So published October 28, 2005 and updated November 7, 2005. Hillsborough Sheriff's deputies are still looking for the suspect known as Pat. According to the sheriff's office, Pat worked with Conrad Pierre Warren, a 31-year-old Walgreens assistant manager, to steal nearly $74,000 worth of gift cards over a 7-month period ending in May. Investigators say Warren activated the gift cards for chain stores and restaurants on a machine at the Walgreens at 128 East Brandon Boulevard. Pat then paid Warren cash, which Warren pocketed, investigators said. Her sheriff's spokeswoman, Debbie Carter, said the store became aware of a discrepancy between how many cards were activated and how much money had been taken in and contacted authorities. Warren was arrested last week and charged with 350 counts of dealing in stolen property, as well as charges of second-degree grand theft and organized fraud worth more than $50,000. Because of the number of charges, he is being held in the county jail in lieu of more than $5 million bail. But Carter said, Pat still hasn't been found. We are continuing to investigate, she said. So I was there. I was there. And I was the one who started putting the pieces together. It is so wild because I had talked to him about it. Like, I was like, people keep calling about gift cards and I don't know, and it's weird. And he was like, that's weird, interesting, whatever. The whole time he was the one doing it. It was so wild. And I remember they came in, loss prevention came in, they started doing interviews. Child, when they picked him up that night, they let him come in to work. And they had the loss prevention manager, the district manager, they probably the pharmacy manager, they had the sheriff's office. Like, it was crazy. But the reason I bring it up is because I'm still asking myself, what is the line? Because is somebody able to come to you and be like, listen, I know that this ain't like really what we supposed to do, but just do this. It's cool. Like, what is your line? Is your line how much harm that is gonna cause, or is your line whether it is to stick it to the establishment, or like what is your line? And then furthermore, when I ask what is your line, I'm really wondering what's your line right now for when you press the eject button, or when you be like, hey, shit's gone totally left, right, in between, upside down, topsy turvy. What is your line? What is your line? Because we have to have a line for everything, and we can call those lines boundaries. I think that that is appropriate. I think it's important for us to figure it out, even whether we call it boundaries or not. What is your line for what you're going to accept in a relationship or in a friendship? What is your line for what you are going to accept in a working environment? Or, like, for instance, I was working or had tried to work with this organization here. It was it was teaching English basically. And there was a time where I had asked them like for clarity on where we were supposed to meet with the different students and like all of that kind of stuff. And they did work out of WeWork. And the first thing that I noticed when I got there was that it was very much somebody gonna come and get you with a badge, like to do, and then I'll buzz you in, like type of thing. And I was like, this feels interesting, but okay, I guess. And I'm lying. That's not the first thing I noticed. The first thing I noticed is when I was speaking to the person who ultimately wound up hiring me, that they were very interested in talking about themselves and like bigging themselves up. And I thought that that was interesting. So I was just like, Then once I got hired, okay, there was a process for hiring and all that kind of stuff. There was a time where we were supposed to meet at the WeWork. So me and the students. So we get to the WeWork and I'm calling and nobody's responding or anything to try to sign into the computer. Now I want to say this was maybe like my second time with this student. So I'm like trying to reach out, like, where am I supposed to meet with the student? Like, we're just, nobody's here to quote unquote buzz me up. Like, what's supposed to happen? And they were like, oh, so and so isn't there and such isn't there. Well, can you find somewhere to go with them? Like, can y'all go across the street to the mall or something or whatever and find a spot? So then I was like, okay. So she and I wound up going over to the mall, finding a bench, had a nice time. I'm gonna make do. We're learning English. So just talking is fine, but I definitely didn't expect to be doing this in the middle of the crowded mall today. Like, this is wild. Okay, so then the next week I go back because it was like a Monday, Wednesday situation. So the next week I go back for the Monday and it's at the WeWork. So then I'm trying to get clarity on the Wednesday. So they were like, oh, well, you got to find a place for y'all to meet on Wednesday. Excuse me, that's not what y'all told me. I'm not. I'm not doing that. And they kept trying to make it seem, want me to be the one to be like, I had made an error. And that's why we were having to find somewhere to meet. I'm also not taking the fall for y'all's disorganization. Okay. And that was pretty much the last time that I wound up working with them because I do not like working with dishonorable people who I cannot trust what they say. I'm not doing that. Right. So again, that was a line for me. Like, you not about to be having me out here looking like I'm responsible for your poor programming and scheduling. No. Mm-mm. So that was a lie, you know? So that's the question that I feel like we need to be asking ourselves right now. And even when it comes to the United States, because yes, I'm gonna talk about it. I am. If you was watching and you was like, is she gonna make yes. What is your line for what is your line for your affiliation if you are still someone who is very much affiliated with parties? What is the line that you have about like what they got to do for you to be like I'm not doing this no more? Like what else needs to happen for you to be like okay, something this ain't right. You know, um because it's a time right now where we are watching the temperature slowly being turned up little by little by little by little, and they're moving the goalpost and moving the line the whole time. So I feel like there has to be a very clear delineation of, okay, this has gone too far. And for many people, things have not gone too far yet. You know, stealing immigrants and US citizens from their homes and shipping them off to other countries to be enslaved, that's not too far, okay? Is too far. It wasn't too far for it to be a criminal that was running for office. That wasn't too far, even though I do not believe that he legitimately won that election. Okay, let me just go ahead and say that publicly. I do not believe that he legitimately won the election. They have said many times that Elon is the reason that he won the election. So I believe that the results were going to be the results regardless. I believe that Kamala was never going to win this election at all. They had already decided what it was going to be and how it was going to happen. There are tweets where Trump said, I have enough votes already. Y'all don't even have to worry about voting. And that was before voting had happened. Okay. So I don't believe that he legitimately won the election. But the fact that he won the election the first time, that wasn't a line. Because that was how that happened. And that was, I believe, a legitimate election for the most part. So that wasn't too much. Or the fact that he's a sex offender and like that's not too much. Okay. All right. What is your line when it comes to utilizing faith and Christianity as a tool for causing harm to people? Like what does that, I'm just scared where your lines at. That's what I need to know. I need people to make their lines visible so that I know who I'm dealing with and who I'm not dealing with. Because I don't like this brand of, I was gonna say racism, but it's more than racism. It's racism, it's capitalism, it's patriarchy, it's a lot. But I don't like the brand of niceties. So if I use racism for instance, this is the best way I can explain it. So y'all know I'm from New Orleans. And in New Orleans, I was used to outright overt racism. I grew up with David Duke, the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan, and his people marching down the street during Martin Luther King parades. I grew up very aware that there were certain white people that did not like me because I was Black. I have seen crosses burned. I remember I went to a Lutheran school and we used to do this program called Outdoor Ed, and we would go off like to a lake area, campground thing or whatever. I remember seeing a cross burn across the lake. Like that's what I'm used to. What I wasn't used to was going to Pennsylvania with the nice people. Turning out those nice people are so much worse than the people who are overt, because those nice people cuddle up next to you and make you think that they're so nice and they care about people when they actually are causing incredible amounts of harm, and it hurts more because you didn't see the shit coming. That's what I feel like is happening in a lot of spaces. So that for me, that's the Democrats. That's who they are. They're nice, and they're saying the right things, and they're doing the things, but they also are not doing the things that need to be done to protect the people. Just as harmful. Just as harmful, because you're pretending that you care about people and then you still don't, right? Whereas your MAGA Republicans, very obvious, very obvious. Okay. And that's how I prefer my racism. I really do prefer it very obvious, because I need to know where you stand. I need to know where the line is, you know? So it's been a lot. And I have just been asking myself about those things, because I need us to practice radical acceptance. I need us to honor where things are, because some of us are very much still in this fanciful idea of hope and dreams. And number one, hope is not a strategy ever. And number two, hope and dreams is not about to make anything happen. I hope they do well. I hope they do the right thing. I hope that is not a strategy. I saw yesterday there's supposed to now be a boycott on McDonald's. I thought that was interesting. And not that I agree or disagree, or I'm indifferent to it, but I just thought that was interesting. I definitely have seen people talk about the impact of the Target boycott, and I've said, well, I feel like it's selective outrage. I feel like you can't be boycotting Target and also getting Amazon packages every other day. I feel like the boycott should be on all of this frivolous spending that is happening and buying all this shit. What y'all doing with all this shit? Huh? Where you putting it at? What do you need all of these things for? Help me understand, please. Because I'm sorry, I'm on a rant today, but also this is what happens at 6 in the PM. This the other rabbit hole that I've been down lately. Of So it started with, how did the US shift to support to support World War II? That has also evolved into, how did the US shift after the Great Depression to start consumerism and to start advertisement, and how they got people to want to buy things. What made me start thinking about it was this boycott on McDonald's, because I remember as a child being able to go to McDonald's was a treat. It was a treat if you got a Happy Meal, like all of that kind of stuff. But the food was never good. It's not good food. It's not healthy food, but it was popular food. And who said it was popular? The advertisers, because it was all over the TV. When I think about Saturday morning cartoons and all the toy commercials and all that kind of stuff, like, so my research has been like, when did the US start really doing targeted marketing campaigns to get people to buy stuff? Because even I remember I had made the connection that we used to have commercials back in the day, like, the look, the feel of cotton, the fabric of our lives. Y'all remember that commercial? They made those commercials so that the cotton farmers would have people buying cotton. The beef commercials, the milk commercials, the cheese commercials, like the cereals. None of that stuff is healthy. None of it. The Fruit Loops, the Frosted Flakes, the Apple Jacks, the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, the Honey Smacks, the Cocoa Puffs, all of that is processed trash. And they made it so desirable, and we probably still buying it. That line about how we show up and how we interact and the relationship that we have with things and all of that, it just keeps getting pushed further and further and further. So I'm just curious. If you are somebody who is finding yourself buying things just to be buying them, why? And what is the line for you where you say, okay, this is too much? Because we are in the middle of a war. And whether it is World War III or whether it is the Civil War that is happening, whether it is the war against democracy, like it is very obvious that a war is happening. And I need us to know that war is not just mass casualties and bombs, even though that is happening. Even though it's not happening on US soil, it is happening. That's not the only types of war that there are. So there's a recession right now, there's inflation, there's a war on women's bodies, there's a war on trans people, there's a war on LGBTQ plus people. There's just so much. So I need us to be very intentional about defining how we gonna show up in all of this. Because again, if you go hung about boycotting Target, I also need you to boycott Chick-fil-A, God forbid. I used to love me a waffle fry with some Chick-fil-A sauce. And also, they have very problematic views. Very. Especially towards the LGBTQ plus population. That's not even to mention, I don't know their stance on Israel, but just the LGBTQ plus population, because we kind of stopped caring when it comes to like other people in other countries, because we talked about before, for some reason we think it's okay to dehumanize people and feel like because people were born in a particular place that people deserve certain types of treatment. That's US propaganda. I want you to know that. But let's not even go there. Just the LGBTQ plus population. Chick-fil-A they've done a lot of the harm there. Are we also divesting from there? I saw we had divested from Dollar Tree. Is we still doing it? Is we also doing Family Dollar? Like, so it's the selective outrage for me and selective participation. I just can't make it make sense. So if you just not gonna buy from this place. So for instance, you stop shopping at Target, but now you shopping at Walmart. And I understand that you need things, right? Because we have to get our essentials from somewhere. But have you done the work to find Black owned businesses, women owned businesses, minority owned businesses? Are you doing that work as well? Or are we just touting that we took down because what's the end goal? That's what I'm trying to understand. The end goal should be to divest from capitalism. The end goal should be for us to be sustainable and to be able to support ourselves and community. And whether that's through bartering or what have you. But that in my opinion should be the end goal, to divest from this fuckery and foolishness that is happening. But if we're just going to take those dollars and then put those dollars into somebody else's business without investing them into our own, then I'm not seeing that it makes a whole lot of sense. Cause what's the line that Amazon and Walmart got to do to show us that they don't care about us and never did? You know what they got to do for you to finally say I'm not doing that no more? What Chick-fil-A got to do? Who they got to hurt outright for you to be like I'm done with the waffle fries and the chicken sandwiches and Jesus's chicken that people be calling it? You know. That's all I'm asking. I'm just trying to call us to accountability and to reflection and metacognition, because we have to figure out where we stand. Because if we don't, then the line goes further and further and further. And before you know it, this is how these types of things happen. You've dehumanized somebody so much that you've turned into a monster of sorts where you just don't care about people. Because I told y'all last week, the US don't care about its people at all. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. And I don't know what that line is. Like what they got to do to show you that they don't care about people. What else they got to do? Because they've done a lot, you know? So that's our soul work for the week, okay? Is to figure out where our lines are in all aspects of our life. Where are the lines? What are the things that we really need to be examining and thinking about what you is and ain't gonna do, and what you is and ain't gonna allow people to do to you and towards you, and what you is and ain't gonna do towards other people, where you gonna spend your money at. Like, these things are important. They're really, really important, especially now. And I'm gonna just let the record reflect, now is not really the time to be balling out. That's not a good look right now. And I know in some of our worlds, you all look out the window and it's business as usual. But that's where I need us to tap in and practice that radical acceptance, because it's not. It's not business as usual at all. At all. We're in the middle of a constitutional crisis. It is not business as usual. Okay. So know that. And then also let's plan for that to be honored, you know? Okay. So let me see what time it is. How much more time I got? I ain't got no more time, y'all. I got to go. I got to go. So that is Alexa. Turn off the timer. It's such a nice, sweet timer. I love when Alexa cooperates. She don't be cooperating all the time. Do y'all be arguing with y'all's AI assistants? Because me and her. So first off, I got rid of one of her. Well, let me not say it like that. I gifted an Alexa to someone else who did not have one, because there are times where they will come in handy. But child, she about to be on her way out because she don't be listening. She don't be doing right. So I am definitely pro Google Home. It feels like it works more cohesively than Alexa. But I don't know. We ain't gonna be able to have none of these things in a minute because they all gonna be taken over. No. Um Anyways, y'all, let me get up from out of here. Let me tell you the thing. So I want y'all to connect with me, like the video, comment, share, subscribe. All of those things are extremely, extremely helpful for me as I am here and building this space. So I do greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate every like, every share, every comment, every subscribe. If I said anything that resonated with you today, please do leave a comment and let's talk about it. I've been finding new subscribers who are letting me know, like, hey, girl, I'm here, I'm new, and being a part of the community. So I'm excited to have you here. There's a lot that we need to talk about. And I'm also willing to hear some of the things that you all want to talk about. So please do also share that with me in the comments. You can find me and everything about me at KimberlynJackson.com. There, you can learn a little bit about my story. You can learn more about Discover Your Destiny. You can learn, you can actually even read my blog, which was the first place that I found my voice. So that is probably a very interesting place for you to start. And then here on Minding My Black Ass Business, y'all get into these archives, okay? We are trying to get monetized over here. So that also comes with subscribers and watch hours. So find you something to watch and binge, child, because I've been over here documenting the things. My cousin, Constance Kalanda, has been in here. She crochets and does things. So get into these archives and see these videos that we done made. You know, it's a lot to talk about over here. And most importantly, y'all, tell somebody about me, okay? Tell somebody about what's going on over here. Now, if I done told you all of that and you're like, yeah, girl, but also I'm feeling this vibe and I really want to be a part of this, then please do join the Inner Circle. The Inner Circle is my Patreon. It costs $5 a month. And that is the space where we're going to be talking about some of these things that we can't be putting out here for real, for real. So the Patreon gets the unedited, they get the uncut, they get to know what's happening right now, and the details about that. They also get to chat with me and ask questions and all of that. So if you're looking for a deeper connection and you do have $5 a month that you would like to invest in a Black activist, a Black woman activist, a small business owner, someone who is looking to change the world, please do consider hollering at your girl. $5 a month, that's all I'm asking. In return, you get to have access to this. You get behind the scenes access. You get to co-create shows with me and be in spaces and really just understand and walk alongside what it is like to be an activist and what this life is like and why my life is the way that it is and why it is so necessary. So Inner Circle on patreon.com/minding my Black ass business. Okay. Let me think about my closing thoughts. Where's your line? Find it. Make it clear. Make it bold. And stand on business. That is my closing thought for the week. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Okay, I gotta go. All right, bye.
Thank you for listening to The Frolicking Truth, where joy meets justice and our nervous systems get free. Please be sure to like, rate, and comment. Subscribe to the YouTube page, Minding My Black Ass Business, and follow me on all social platforms. Until next time.